Back in 2016, a new Arkham game was announced, called Return to Arkham. Fans all around the world were excited until they saw the trailer, where they became disappointed. This game was just a remaster for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. All it did was just add graphical enhancements, nothing much, and fans were just disappointed by this. But they still bought it and played it on the new PlayStation 4 and next-gen consoles, only to be more disappointed. The remaster was horrible. The graphical enhancements just downgraded it more, and even though it didn't add anything but graphical enhancements, it made the game more buggy. Heck, even there are bugs in the trailer. And I want to talk about whether or not it really is bad or not. This is a topic that I'm heavily passionate about because I have played both versions. I've played the old and the remastered versions. I am stuck with the remastered, sadly, but I do want to play the originals one day. And I have to admit that I don't enjoy playing the remasters that much, but I still want to talk about this topic. So anyways, let's start the video. So let's start with Arkham Asylum. Now this game is based off the comic A Serious House on a Serious Earth, which is one of the darkest Batman comics ever. And the whole point of Arkham Asylum's atmosphere is supposed to be dark, decrepit, and old. But in the remaster, it lightens everything up and gets the saturation up so much, removing the effect of this dark, gritty atmosphere that many people praise. I'm going to show a side by side. This is the PS3, this one is more dark and grittier, and now we have the PS4. Look how much more saturated it is. You can see the differences between the outfits of the Joker, how much more saturated it is. This kind of gets rid of the whole dark, decrepit atmosphere that Arkham Asylum has, and does best at. And for some reason, they changed Batman's face model to this weird, unhappy face, which just looks terrible. They also changed Gordon's, model, which is just really weird, and I don't understand why they had to do it, because it just looks so much more low-res. But the combat remains the same. There's only one good thing about this remaster is that it adds rain effects. Raining was actually supposed to be added in the old version of Arkham Asylum, but because of old gen consoles, they weren't actually able to add it. That's the only one good thing about this remaster. I mean, another thing you could add is that they retcon Joker giving Titan to everybody, but they kind of retcon that in the original Arkham City anyways. There's also just some weird things, like in the remastered editions, they added 2 new buildings that do nothing, which is just weird. Nobody knows why they're there to this day, but they're just there. But for some reason, even though they barely added anything, there's more glitches, actually. For some reason, apparently in the Xbox version, the cape is just clipping through Batman's body whenever he's crouching, which is weird. Also, during the Croc boss fight, for some reason, if you die, you'll get some low-res Croc that will immediately jump back to high-res, which is weird. And another thing I have to add, it's not a glitch, but in the end scene, they literally are so lazy that they use the original cutscene for the remaster instead of actually remastering it, which is just really weird. And there's a plethora of reasons for why this remaster is just crappy, but I cannot go over every single one of them, as this probably would be an hour-long video. Anyways, you're better off just buying the Game of the Year edition if you want all the DLC, and buy a PS3 or an Xbox 360, depending if you want the Joker or not playable. Anyways, let's jump into Arkham City. In the beginning of the intro, I said that there is actually a glitch in the trailer, and I'll show it on screen right now. You see it? Well, notice in the right bottom corner that the grates are orange. When things are highlighted orange, that means that you're in detective mode, and, well, it's indicating something important in detective mode. So these guys knew there was a glitch with the detective mode, because you can see that detective mode is obviously not on during the takedown animation, but the grates are clearly orange. And just like Arkham Asylum, in the original, Arkham City was much more darker, which was just better for Arkham City. And I prefer it to be much darker and grittier, but of course in the remaster they have to saturate it more. And I've ran into many glitches myself. The most prominent of these glitches was when I was doing the Deadshot side mission and the map just didn't load. I could tell because all the textures were dubbed down and I just fell through the earth. Also, did you know that in the original, the cowl and the cape is actually navy blue? So yeah, in the original, the cowl and the cape were actually blue, which I prefer much more. But in the remaster, they for some reason changed the model to make it more black and gray. There's also just various bugs that happen throughout the game, such as, well, the AR mission not popping up and just never popping up again due to this Reddit post. And for some reason, back when it first released, the frame rate was just horrible. But like I said earlier, there are just so many bugs in this game, with enemies just getting deformed, just freezing in places, and just flying out of nowhere. And what did this game add? Nothing. Nothing at all. It is horrible. Return to Arkham for Arkham City is horrible. It is worse than the Asylum remaster. It is terrible. But anyways, let's talk about the DLC, because this is the worst part of the remaster. The remaster includes every DLC. So you have the Catwoman DLC. Thing is, back in the old gen consoles, you can actually delete the Catwoman DLC because people actually hated playing as her. But now we are now stuck with the Catwoman DLC every time we play, which just sucks because I want to speedrun this game and I have to deal with Catwoman, and there's nothing I can do to change that, and it's horrible. And she pops up at the worst times, like in the beginning. She pops up at the beginning in a Batman game. You play as Catwoman in a Batman game in the beginning. And that's not even the worst part, as she pops up right after the steel mill, right after Batman gets knocked out, which is just horrible, and her side missions are just horrible. It's just terrible. You want to save Batman, but first you gotta help Catwoman steal stuff and get out of here. Then she pops up a third time after we get knocked out by a bunch of rubble in the funhouse. And we have to play one of the worst stealth missions ever because she just sucks at stealth. She has the worst gadgets in history. And her traversal just sucks. It's terrible to play as her. She is just not meant for stealth, not meant to traverse around the world. She's not meant for that. And then right after the game is done and you beat it, you still have to play as her. And you have to beat Two-Face, which I gotta admit, I need like defeating Two-Face. But she's not meant for stealth. She's not meant for Predator sections. She sucks at them. So on my I Am the Night run, I nearly lost my run because of her. Anyways, I hate playing as Catwoman. I hate playing as her. So yeah, if you don't want to play as Catwoman, get an old console, play Arkham City Game of the Year. Delete the Catwoman BS. And you have all the other DLCs, which is awesome. There's not much more to talk about because I've already gone over a lot of things. Just not want to talk about the remasters suck. So you want the answer to the video? Are the remasters that bad? They are. I hate them. They suck. I want to play the old ones, but I can't. Please help me. Anyways, I'll see you guys all in the next one. I need to cool down. Bye.